Hi, I'm Lloyd, and alongside my brother and business partner Dan, I'm the co-host of the Business Anchors podcast. Today we're talking about the secret sauce of our business. Everyone forevermore will always prefer to be advertised to and enjoy the experience than advertised to and not enjoy it.
And that's
unless humans just become
mental.
Yeah.
I want
to have a rubbish time. That's the only way that could not be the case.
Yeah.
As you can hear, my contribution to this episode is top class. On the other hand, how many questions do you think Dan can ask in 10 seconds?
Who buys these products? What do they speak about with their mates? What are they sharing in their closed WhatsApp groups? When they're picking the kids up from school, what TV shows are they talking about? What's in the news that they're talking about? And when you start to understand that, you can create marketing campaigns that tap into the things they talk about with their mates.
Don't worry, I promise we'll provide answers as well as questions in this episode. So let's get into episode 43 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long.
What is Knowlton's secret sauce?
That is a really good question. Our secret sauce is the fact we produce marketing campaigns that people enjoy consuming and they sell shitloads of products and services.
I'm glad you said that because that shows we're aligned as business owners. Because I also, in my notes, I wrote, we make ads that people enjoy consuming.
There you go.
Yes, we got something right.
I think it is fairly unique though. I think in most advertising, the number one objective is to sell stuff, to build brand awareness, and advertisers don't think about the end consumer and think about. This is why I hate how annoying is it when you get disrupted when you're consuming videos and pop-up ads and you're watching a YouTube video
and it's literally just buy this shit product that you definitely don't want, but we'll show this to 3,000 people and one of you will click it, hopefully. We've
just completely flipped that on its head and actually thought, before we try and sell something, thought about what does the consumer actually want to, what will they enjoy watching. And
do you know why I think it's so good that we take this, one of the many reasons?
Go on.
Because I think when you advertise to someone and you don't care that they enjoy consuming your adverts, 99% of advertising, then if they're ready to buy and want to buy, they'll buy. And if they're not ready to buy, they won't buy and they'll hate you. Whereas the way we do things, if they actually enjoy consuming our ads, then if they're not ready to buy, they won't buy then, but they will be very open to buying in the future at any time in their lives in the future. And if they are ready to buy, they'll buy. So you're basically everyone that isn't currently at the point where they want to purchase that product, you have a good opportunity forevermore to sell to them.
Do you know what it also does as well? On top of that, it creates advocates. Like, it creates people who aren't ready to buy now, but they'll tag all their mates and they'll say, have you seen this? This is well good. And their mates who may be ready to buy are like, oh, cool. And then, do you know what I mean? It's just clever. It's just logical and clever.
God, we are so clever, aren't we?
No, but I mean, we're not geniuses, but...
Well, speak for yourself, mate.
I think it just makes sense. But like, okay, if that's the case, why doesn't everyone use this secret sauce?
Well, I think firstly, it's more effort. I think. Like, if you think in any industry, if you do what the other 99% of the industry is doing, that's easier because you're just doing the same thing. You hire more people from a competing company and just say, don't worry, mate, just do the same as you've been doing in your other business. And that's just people. There's lots of moving parts, and it's harder to convince people to do things they're not used to. So our clients, we have to say, no,
stop doing shit stuff.
We're not going to do the same thing you've been doing with everyone else you've worked with. We want to do this. So that's a harder sell as well. Obviously, it's easier now. We've had far more experience, so we can say, we worked with this business very similar to you and made them shitloads of money.
I also think a misconception with our secret sauce is because of the style of our content. I think a lot of people think that we just produce campaigns in the style that we produce our content. Like, we're quite weird and wacky. This is like a fairly normal piece of content, us doing a podcast. But like the other weird shit we do with wigs and like people just think,
the after dark stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not that weird.
People just think if you know that we'll just produce that kind of weird but we don't. There's like the recent campaign we did, which I think was really creative, was promoting a virtual event, and it was really good. And is it live now? It'll be live now, so you should
probably when this goes out. Yeah, but I think with stuff like that, there are virtual events being advertised, you know, especially on kind of LinkedIn and stuff like that, all the time. There are hundreds, thousands of them just in the UK trying to get you to sign up. Come to our virtual event, doing the same thing, showing you an image. Oh, virtual business event this date.
Live speakers.
And I think the hard thing, no offence to people working in this industry, because I think it's been very hard to adjust from non-pandemic event world to try and make it good, but everyone's just sat in front of a screen.
Yeah.
But I think 90% of the virtual events that I've experienced or heard about have been not that great. So I think it was a real challenge with this one. We worked with Atomic and Hotmart to communicate. It's not like all those others.
Yeah.
So we had to get creative. Otherwise, people watching ads will just go, oh, another one of them.
Yeah. So how did we, let's actually try and dive into this example a little bit more so that we can try and give it more value. So
I think there's one key scene in it that I can use as an example that really communicates it. So
please tell me it's when you got taken out.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
so
I love this.
I wrote for the script for this one. So the point we want to communicate for this part of the ad, and we use this as a standalone ad as well. We're not going to get your standard business speakers that are going to be dull. Basically, they're going to be really interesting, where they're not going to be using PowerPoints and it'd be a boring presentation.
Yeah. We've all seen those where you're literally falling asleep.
And it's, to be fair again, it's hard to present this sort of thing, so a lot of people that haven't got a huge amount of experience speaking and they're not overly interesting. But we need to communicate the speakers for this event. I know that the guys really work hard to find really interesting, engaging speakers. So you could have lots of ads. You could have an image ad saying, better speakers than most events. No one.
I mean, that could convince a couple of people.
Yeah, it will. And it honestly would, a couple.
Oh, they got better speakers.
You could have a video of someone saying, we're really trying hard to get good speakers.
That's probably take it to the next level. That would probably...
you get 5 or 6 people there. But our whole approach is how are we going to keep their attention and actually make them think, oh, I believe them here. And so we had, because I didn't want to get sued by an actor, I actually played this 3-second role myself as a terrible presenter.
Didn't have to do much acting then.
Yeah, talking, doing one of the rubbish speeches with a little podium in front of me, and then I got rugby tackled by an American football player wearing lycra, and then he delivered the message of, we don't have rubbish speakers like that, and delivered the message. So I suppose that was 3% of this ad, but that kind of communicates
that one message.
To communicate that one message, that one point out of the 20 that we were going to, you have to think creatively of how are we going to get the attention and communicate this in the way that they're going to believe us and sign up.
It is thinking creatively like that, isn't it? It's trying to think of how to, the lowest level of communicating something like that is just saying it. But how do you do it in a creative, visual way that reinforces the point? And I think throughout this whole promotional video, we're constantly banging that drum of, here's a good thing about the event, but we're not just saying it, we're showing. Like, another good example, I don't know, you wrote the script, but it was that as part of this event, they do this whole makeover thing where your business, you can make over your business. And to communicate that, the main presenter, he went behind these curtains and came back out in drag. Yeah. And it was like, look, you can get yourself made
and he looked ultra glamorous, looked great, and obviously being in drag was very eye-catching and wow, what a transformation.
Yeah.
And obviously, and especially on a place like LinkedIn that these videos might be posted, that video is going to get attention and going to stand out. Yeah. And for the right reasons. It's not, anyone can get attention by shouting horrendous things or just being crazy. There's elements of getting attention that are very crude. Like, for example, in our videos, wearing wigs is just a very crude, not that intelligent way. It's like, you look different, and I don't think that's intelligent anyway. But it's like the scripts and the scenes and the other stuff around it that's the clever way of getting attention, actually doing something with it.
So how, I guess, like, if someone's listening to this thinking, this sounds great, you know, this secret sauce of producing marketing that people actually... I'm just trying to think of like an actual process that people could follow to try and think about, because people are probably listening to this thinking, oh, you need a massive production to do all this. They can do it. What's the kind of process? Should we talk a bit about the kind of steps we tend to go through?
Yeah.
So the process always starts with the objective. What are you trying to achieve? Because, you know, when we work with brands, some clients want to drive trackable sales. Some want to drive virtual event sign-ups, like the example we shared. Some want to build brand awareness. Some want to communicate or overcome some kind of problem that their customers are having. So, you know, thinking about what that objective is really the starting point, because everything needs to be shaped around. And it sounds simple, but if you just dive straight into something, think, oh, let's do this marketing campaign without actually, so you need to have that kind of starting point.
And I know you're going to go into more detail of this, Dan, but I've got like 3 steps that I think it to summarize what I feel you'd do.
Go on.
Or we kind of do. Yeah. Because it's finding out what they want first, obviously, but then first step is basically find the perfect customers they need to achieve that.
Yeah.
That's I'm not going to tell you how.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure they're aware of your business first, and then basically make sure they're shown all the information they need to take the action you need to take.
Yeah.
I think that's a really simple... Right, go away and do that then, guys. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's a really simple way of putting it. But I like the simplicity, because I've spoken on a few podcasts about this. Like, everyone tries to overcomplicate marketing and say loads of big fancy words. And really, the more simplistic, logical approach, like if you like exactly what you said, if you show the ideal people who are your ideal customers what they need to see to become aware of you, convince them that what you do will help them in some way, and nudge them to actually buy. There's different, and we always talk about the different levels of content in the marketing funnel and stuff, but I
like to dumb it down because that's my level of intelligence. But it's that you can use lots of big words to say that same thing, but that's what needs to be achieved basically for every single business in the world.
I think, like you said, after thinking about what the objective is, it's so crucial to understand who are your target market. And I know this is so simple, like this is marketing 101, but not enough attention is focused on the who, and like, you know, who buys these products, what do they speak about with their mates, what are they sharing in their closed WhatsApp groups, when they're picking the kids up from school, what TV shows are they talking about, what's in the news that they're talking about. And when you start to understand that, you can create marketing campaigns that tap into the things they talk about with their mates.
And that's where we are different to, you know, we said we're like the 1% doing things differently to the 99%. I feel like with the who, you know, like I said, they're showing image ads to loads of people, and it's much more broad and like, we'll find the right person in the end. And I know there is an element of targeting, but I think, like you said, there's not enough thought, not just who do we target, but like you said, all those things of what do they like, what don't they like, what's their lifestyle, what are they doing at this time of day, what they relate to, and that's what allows us to target people in a better way with this more creative content that they're going to like watching, consuming, listening to, whatever.
But it's like, this is where the secret sauce comes in, because it's not just like that bit where it's relatable and it's fun and they're like, oh look, that's a good thing. It's strategically structuring content to overcome objections, communicate benefits of the product or service, and you're really good at with the script writing, you know, mapping out what are the key objections your customers have, the key benefits you want to get across, and then formulating a script around those things. And then, like we said earlier, like the tackling the rubbish speaker for the virtual event, come up with creative ways to overcome those barriers and communicate those kind of benefits.
Yeah, because there's always a lot of barriers that people have to buying or signing up for a free event or considering using a service that they haven't used before. And I think if you just overcome one of those barriers, it's unlikely, you know, you might get lucky and you'll get a few purchases or sign-ups or whatever. But if you manage to overcome basically every barrier they could think of, like, well, I'm not sure the price is right. By the way, the price is right. Well, I'm not sure if I can trust this company. You can. Here's thousands of positive reviews. You know, there's all these different things, making sure we get in front of them with that information. And we tend to put forward quite long ads, much longer than most of the industry, where we can kind of overcome all of this stuff in almost one piece of content.
Because it's interesting enough to watch.
But although that works for some people, when people watch a 5 to 10 minute ad, which is unheard of outside of the stuff we do in the UK, really, we also have the supporting ads, which means 90% of people won't watch that 5 minute ad, but we're going to target them with the micro content to communicate those same things over the next month, and then they will see it.
How do you, because a lot of the creative weird ideas come from you, how do you come up with these? Like, what have you ever thought about what your weird thing in your mind is that thinks of these strange things? Do you get inspired by stuff, or do you just think
I think that genuinely is the main difference with me. So I think most people say I'm doing an ad for some aftershave. Most people would say, maybe that's a bad example. Or I'm doing an ad for an online event. Most people would go, right, let's as a bit of a brainstorming thing, let's find the best 5 ads for online events and really get some good ideas from those. It's like,
makes sense.
So you'll be able to create, if you do well with that, you'll create something almost as good as the best online event advertising you can find if you do everything perfectly. Whereas I don't like to get inspiration from that industry, because I find you're limiting yourself. So I want to be, if we're trying to create a funny ad, get inspiration from the best comedies and comedians in the world, rather than the best funny virtual event ad, because the bar's going to be very low. And by the way, by no means do I think my writing is as good as those comedian stuff, but at least if we're inspired by that stuff and we're aiming for that, a bar far higher, or if you want something dramatic, think of the best TV shows in the world and stuff, and get inspiration from that, rather than just the best ad you've seen in that industry.
I like that.
I really do think that's, and don't get me wrong, I think I am fairly skillful in the writing and stuff, so I think not everyone can just do that, but I think that's a key thing that anyone can do. Like from the start, don't just think, what's the best ad for a graphic designer in East Sussex? Like, look at the best one in the world, even if you stay in your industry, and then aim towards that one.
I know something else you wanted to talk about. Our win-win-win thing that we don't actually talk about that enough.
No, and it's something, as we grow, I'm trying to communicate it more as something that we always come back on, because we're talking about the difference of how our clients' customers enjoy consuming the ads. And that's actually the third win. Just to let you know that. So our win-win-win-win. So
it's like our business mantra, right?
So I think shit businesses have a win mindset. So we're going to try and make money.
So as in we the business wins. We the business. One win.
One win.
Who gives a shit about the customers?
If we make money, we're not going to do a great job. We'll be average. We'll just about do good enough. Our business gets paid. So cool. And I think good businesses have the win-win thing, which is, if we're talking about marketing agencies, we're going to be happy and our client's going to be happy. So your customers that you're serving are gonna be like, I'm really happy I've worked with them, got a good result, great. So I think good business, fair enough. That third win that we said, that win-win-win, that's where we... Triple win. That's where we're looking at the customers of our clients, and like we said before, or the potential customers, so that they're watching ads even if they're not ready to purchase yet, and they're having a positive experience. So if we were doing cold calling for our clients, that third win would not be there.
Not be a win.
It would be the complete opposite. It'd be like win-win, this is so shit. But you may still get results for the client. And then the fourth win, which isn't as relevant to this conversation, is that we have our business has a positive impact to the outside world, outside of us, our clients and their customers.
Like the rest of the world.
Exactly. That kind of, like, the fact that we're carbon negative as a business.
Planting trees and stuff. So, I guess we've been talking about secret sauce and what our secret sauce is. If someone's listening and thinking, we're just the pretty average and we're not that different to anyone else. How do you like come up with your secret sauce? I mean, how did we come up with our secret sauce?
Well, to be completely honest, and I think we spoke about this a couple of episodes ago, it took time.
Yeah.
We didn't always do what everyone else did, but 70% of what we were doing was what everyone else was doing at that level of a marketing. It took
trying
business.
Shitloads of stuff, didn't it, to try and figure out. We didn't just one day say, this is what we're going to do. It was like 3 or 4 years of trying stuff. And
I think that's it. I think, well, some people may be better at that than us. So from day one, they'll think of like, this is how my business is actually different to everyone else and will be, and that's great. And, we've got a business that we've grown at a speed that means we're really happy with the business growth and happy with our lifestyle around it. Some people have a great idea, within a year they sell it for millions of pounds. Fair enough.
So we're not that successful compared to that.
I think most people should kind of be in a point where they're happy to be doing what other people are doing and starting out with your business. But then you've got to try those different things. And we spoke about milking the top 10% as well. Like if you find a little niche that you think, I'm really good at this part of it.
Let's go.
If I could find more clients like that, I've done a great job. I'd say like keep talking about that stuff and push yourself in that direction. Rather than just trying to get every customer you can.
I think that's what's helped with us as well is figuring out who is that client that you really want to work with, that you enjoy working with the most, that's lucrative, that you earn good profit from, and that you do a good job for, and then trying to focus in on that niche rather than just trying to work with everyone. I think when you start out, it's difficult to not just work with everyone because you need to pay your bills. So do you think, beyond, say 2 years time, do you think we would be having a conversation where our secret sauce is different? We're like, we hadn't really worked it out then, or do you think we've got it? I think it'll be a version of this.
Okay.
Because you know why? I think our personalities are really ingrained in this secret sauce. Right, if you think of us as kids, we just constantly had a laugh and mucked around, and you just constantly make me laugh. Literally since we've been kids. Like most of my time when I spent with you, I'm easy. You know how to push my buttons. I'm not giving you too much credit because
I'm not actually funny. You just find
this is what you always say. The only people that find you funny is me and you, Johnny. But and I think that whole fun, laughing a lot, taking the piss, like this is called business anchors or wankers or whatever, because that's our personality. So I can't see suddenly in 2 years, oh no, that's not working anymore. Suddenly we're serious. But I think it could be a version of this.
Yeah, I agree. And I think because it's more a big picture thing. Like if we were saying our thing is creating creative 12-second ads on Instagram, then in 10 years' time, Instagram won't be the place to market. So then it won't be. But the fact,
the core
ours is
theme of what we do,
I agree,
is producing entertaining, interesting content and campaigns that do work. But they might stop working at some point, and they probably. It's not necessarily. It's more the platforms, and I think that change. It's not like the mantra of
the concept. Like everyone, I'm sure, everyone forevermore will always prefer to be advertised to and enjoy the experience than advertised to and not enjoy it.
And that's
unless humans just become
mental. I want to have a rubbish time.
That's the only way that could not be the case.
And that would be mental.
We're taking advantage of the fact hardly anyone does that. And the bigger businesses in the world, the big corporates, Burger King, they have this massive thing of trying to get attention in certain ways and entertain and stuff. Red Bull, the way they run their business, but obviously we do it with anyone from like mid-size SMEs up to the worldwide corporations, and I think that's it's rare even with the big boys, let alone anywhere in between that. So
I wonder what we're going to be. Like this podcast was literally a year. Or is it a year old? A year and a bit old.
I
wonder what the thing will be in like 5 years. Will we be sort of like making beeping noises on like a weird machine or something?
It'll be.
Or no, will it be?
I don't think it'll be that, if I'm honest, Dan. You never know. It could be. Actually, it definitely won't be this. But everyone always says like VR or AR. Or it could be like you sit there on the podcast set and you see us talking to you and stuff.
What do you mean? Who's you?
You put the listener and the viewer puts their headset on.
Oh, and
then they're there, and we're
right.
like talking with them.
Yeah,
it could be that.
Yeah.
So if it is, roll this clip in 2030 when that's the great kind of way that people create content and stuff.
Cool.
Great. I think that's been a good discussion, Dan. Thank you, Business Anchors, for joining us. As always, we've had a great time. We have changed the setup a bit here. If you're viewing the podcast on YouTube or LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and basically because our business is growing, we've had to move around a bit and put lots more desks and room for people to do different things. But
there will be Podcast 2.0. We're building a whole proper set.
Is still being built in a different studio.
So we'll be doing this.
But yeah, just in case you're wondering, I thought this looked different.
Secret sauce and that.
Secret sauce. Enjoy.
Enjoy Lloyd's secret sauce.
Oh.